Hi there, it's day 3 of week 8 of 52 weeks of vlogging. It's Wednesday, it's Movie Review Wednesday. I'm here to talk about one of my favorite movies ever. Definitely my favorite superhero movie ever, Superman. Not the series, just the original. Now I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking Superman is boring. It doesn't have any of the awesomeness that modern superhero movies have. There is no high-tech weaponry, there are no gadgets, there are no explosions, at least no seriously harmful explosions of the close-up nature. There are no people sprouting armor or claws or talons from various body parts. It is like the most basic of basic superhero movies. But that's what I like about it, because what Superman lacks in flash, it makes up for in story, and that's something that the modern Transformers style superhero movie is seriously lacking. Superman is actually more like a trilogy in one movie. In the first part, we have the story of Krypton and where he was born and where he came from. We learn about the values of his parents and the values of his ancestors, and we learn a little bit of the basic mythology in terms of why is he so strong on Earth, and why will he have superpowers here when nobody there seems to have the same superpowers, and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of neat actually, because we get a sense of who Superman is going to be before we even meet him. And then we have the second part, which is basically Smallville. This is where Superman grows up as Clark Kent. Ma and Pa Kent raise him, again espousing certain values that Superman is then going to grow up and hold true and sacred to himself when he becomes a superhero. We get a sense of him as a person, affable, likable, not boisterous, not putting himself at the front of the stage. And we get a little bit of the sense of the isolation he probably felt growing up, because he is different and he does have secrets. We kind of get a sense that he could actually turn out to be a little bit angsty, but then he doesn't. More on that later. The Smallville section of the movie is where we get a sense of Superman's rural American roots, and it's also where we get a sense that this guy's gonna grow up to be basically the world's biggest Boy Scout. And then we get the third section of the movie where Clark shows up in Metropolis wondering what he's gonna do with all of his newfound super skills, meets Lois, goes on a city-saving spree, and basically figures out in one night that A, he really likes Lois, and B, he really likes this whole city-saving job he's got going on. Now, it could be argued that Superman the movie should have actually been 3 movies, but for whatever reasons, it wasn't. I think probably the budget had a lot to do with it. And I'm really glad that it wasn't, because A, it's really great to see the super special effects that for a pre-digital era movie are amazing. And B, it was really great to see the development of Superman's character from birth to adulthood in one big arc over one big movie. And Superman's character, which was created partly by the script and the comic books and the director of the movie, but partly by Christopher Reeve's take on the whole character himself, is what I really love about this movie. His almost naive desire to simply do the right thing, his reluctance to mete out punishment to criminals. He basically always just delivers them to the police, and he never takes matters into his own hands by beating them up, kicking them around, or doing anything like that, at least in the original movie. And his recognition and acceptance of the fact that he's not the star, he's just a team player. These are all wonderful values. And when Superman tells Lois in that all-important first interview that he's there to fight for truth, justice, and the American way, these are the values he's talking about. This is the American way that he's referring to. Now, I'm not saying that's what everybody else means when they say the American way. I'm not saying the American way is the best way. I'm just saying that's what Superman's about. Superman the movie is unlike modern action flicks and modern superhero movies. Modern action flicks basically offer escapism and not much else. Modern superhero movies are giving us this dark, angsty superhero backstory, which, you know, they're human too and they feel all the feels. And that's great, but it almost overshadows all the good stuff that they do. And while yes, it's fair and valid to say that some people are just tortured souls working through their pain while they do amazing things and fill the world with amazingness, the heavy emphasis on the dark side, at least for me, kinda sorta takes away my ability to aspire to anything that they're trying to do. Superman really gives us a superhero to aspire to. Christopher Reeve's version of Superman was actually the first person that I wanted to both be and be with at the same time. Okay, that sounds a lot weirder than it is. What it comes down to is that I think Superman the movie is possibly one of the best superhero movies ever made. The special effects were way ahead of their time, and the character development and the character itself is something that I really, really cherish and treasure. Watching Superman the movie and sharing it with the kidlet is one of the moments that I will treasure for the rest of my life. It's a film that reminds me of the person that I want to be. And I think films like that are always worth watching. Thanks for joining me for Movie Review Wednesday. I'll see you tomorrow.